can't believe it's happening.
Matthew's driving one of his JDM dream cars.
I can't believe it's happening right now. Yeah. Oh, don't worry.
Bring me back by
God.
curfew.
Oh my God, dude. I really can't.
Oh yeah, you got this clutch down.
Yeah, it grabs like Genesis.
Like Jedi. Red, white, and blue. Blue, red, and white. We really screwed up parking. Look at that front layout. Oh, goodness. Hey, look at those wheels though. I don't know what kind of video this is gonna end up being, but I'm gonna record the entire experience.
I'm probably not gonna say much, dude. I'm honestly like bumping.
You don't need to say much, just take it all in.
People like BJ existing in this world are what's gonna keep like this motorsport thing alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a regular freaking guy. I'm just some fucking nobody who likes cameras and cars.
You're not a nobody, met you. Not in my eyes.
And BJ just gave me the keys to his NSX. I can't believe it.
BJ and his wife are like the coolest people you'll ever meet. They let us all drive the NSX. They spent the entire day with us.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you guys
no stress.
so much. Like, I don't have words. Seriously. Where should I go?
Just go straight.
Go straight?
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll on to second gear a little bit.
Yeah, this is a good spot to roll into it.
I'm not gonna beat on this thing at all. Like, I gotta go in first actually because it's a long first gear.
Yeah,
right?
that's hard to get used to. VTEC is delicious.
Oh my God. I don't even have to go like super fast in this thing. I drive 50%. It's awesome. Oh my God. And the heel and toe is perfect.
Yeah, there's some cars where it's difficult to get heel toe right off the bat.
Yeah. And this one just does it.
What I was saying with him is the pedals are very close together.
They are close together.
Which is good.
Yep.
But the first time I pressed the clutch in, the very first time my foot hit like the left side of the car. You see how close it is to...
They do seem like they're shifted over to the right a little bit. But I mean, once you get the placement, it's fine. Oh my God. This makes the right sounds. Oh my God. It's got great visibility. That's one of the best things about early 90s cars like that. It's like, visibility is amazing. It's got these really skinny pillars.
You feel so comfortable driving it.
Oh my God.
Like, I like cars where you sit low and like there's a huge like, what does Quinn say, phallic hood or whatever. But I also liked where you could see everything.
Yeah, this hood,
you know, right where it's at.
This hood just kind of drops off.
Yep. You see the two bulges, so you know right where you're at.
Yep. I can't believe it. Am I going too far? Like, I should probably turn around. Soaks up bumps really well. Did you notice that when you took it? Like, there were bumps that I was expecting it to hit like my Miata does, but no, it just soaks them up so well.
We were saying Bilstein, they know what they're doing.
Yep.
Don't try and fix something that's not broken. He's on what, H&R Springs, I think?
Yeah, H&R Springs, Bilstein shocks.
And Quinn
just drove by like a fucking madman. Oh my god.
That was great.
Holy shit.
Quinn went by like freaking lightning. Who's this guy? Oh, it's Quinn.
So, do I get on it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, buddy.
I'm fucking tingling right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm the pastor and I'm tingling. You can tell it doesn't want to be banged, but like,
no,
it's fine.
It's fine.
You know?
I don't want to drive it like that.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Can you like Instagram story or something? I gotta like.
Oh yeah.
Dream come true. Oh, the GoPros have been going the whole time?
Oh yeah, that was a full video. See that man sitting over to the left? He's a legend.
He's a legend, yes.
So it's a little twisty here. Don't worry, I know this road. Okay. It's Quinn's favorite road. We'll go like 7 cents. Man, it handles freaking wonderfully. It's just so planted. Yeah. Second there where I was like, yeah, the last end is going to come out or come loose, you know? Yeah. What a great car. It's fun. It's not good. There's so many cars I want to own in my life. This is definitely one of them.
Yeah. What is up, guys? We are here wrapping up the day from shooting this beautiful 1991 Acura NSX, although I really should say it's a Honda NSX. I'm running out of daylight here, but we're gonna take this out. We're gonna do a street impression. I'll do this review in my typical fashion for y'all. I literally just hopped into this thing. I've never actually driven an NSX before, so this has been kind of one of those life goals that I wanted to achieve. Ultimately, I think I would like to just own an NSX. But initial impressions, the cabin, really interesting layout. The front dash is very low cut. You have great visibility out of all the windows, which this is something that Honda really put emphasis on to make this a very daily user-friendly car. This is a 91, so there's no power steering in this, and this guy's gonna pull out right in front of me. Yeah, thanks. So there's no power steering in this, but the steering efforts are actually very easy on it. Gearbox feels fantastic for a cable-driven gearbox. I love the S2000 gearbox. I always put that as one of my all-time favorite manual transmissions, and I think a lot of the inspiration for it came from the NSX. This feels great for something that's driven by cables and not directly linked to the transmission. We have a very, very, very low front end here, so we got to be very ginger coming out of some of these little dips. So we're gonna take our time. There we go. Like all Japanese cars, this is very easy to operate. It's not intimidating or exhausting or jarring. You know, I thought that this car was gonna be more anemic than it is in just around town drivability, because this is the 3-liter engine combined with the 5-speed. The gearing in this car is very, very long. I think ideally if I was going to go for an NSX, I'd want the 3.2-liter engine, so a little bit more displacement combined with the 6-speed. closer ratio transmission, so you have more torque and usability in the gears at the lower RPM range, but this actually feels pretty good. I love the NSX because the NSX has that mid-engined exotic supercar look to it, but it's a smaller package. It's not gigantic, and the way that Honda derived the suspension, and I know this just from the hundreds of hours of NSX videos I've watched over my entire life, that these cars can handle more at the limit, grab them by the scruff, and not have them be like dangerous. Where like I would say like Ferraris of the 90s were a little bit more leery to drive because of the way the suspensions were designed. So I think that's really cool, and I think that's like probably one of my favorite aspects about the NSX. The seating position, I'm a little bit higher over the gauge cluster line than I prefer, and again, this goes back to how low Honda cut the dash in this car. I kind of like to sit a little bit more eye level with the top of the steering wheel personally. That kind of has more like that Grand Touring-esque feel, but a lot of Japanese cars just sit higher up because let's face it, like a lot of Japanese folks are just a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter, so they position them higher. My S2000, my Miatas, they all had higher seating positions, even my RX-7. So for the stock seating position with the stock seats, which are very well bolstered and very attractive looking, this is actually pretty good. It could be much worse. So driving along, this thing is very, very user-friendly. I have the windows up right now. For a car that was made in 1991, this cabin is very quiet. And I actually really appreciate that. I'll give you a comparison, like my 93 RX-7, which is a similar genre car, was meant to be more of a premium sports car back in the day. You know, that's a very, very loud cabin to be in. So compliance over bumps, this is a bumpy road, pretty good, pretty good. The steering feel is excellent, and as it should be. It's a depowered rack, so there's no hydraulics or anything getting in the way of you in the road. Everything that's going on at the front axle is translating right up through the steering wheel. We're in third gear here. Again, this is longer gearing. I'm doing almost 45 miles an hour, and that's just about 3,000 RPM. So like if I give it a little boot at 3, it's got something because it is a 3-liter V6, but there's not really that much there. This is going back to like, I think the 6-speed would be a better suited transmission for this car for sure. But you sit very low, hunkered down in this car, and and that's one of the things I love about the NSX, and that's why it's so alluring to me, is that it's got those low-cut bumpers that were built during a time when manufacturers didn't have to adhere to the modern crash test safety ratings. And the result of that is you get these beautiful, low, very low-cut bumpers, something that we will never, ever see again from an automobile. And for that, that's part of the reason why I think that drives these NSXs. I mean, aside from their history with Air in Center, having a lot of development in these, and aside from like the fact that this was Honda's only like real exotic supercar other than them re-releasing it, but let's face it, the new NSX is not an NSX in any way to its father car, but it's just a thing of beauty. We had this thing in my garage, and like the roof line of this is lower than even like my Miatas, which have pretty aggressive low heights. This sits lower, so that's like really neat. It's just such a sleek looking car. So I think I'm talking a little bit too much, but we're about to get to a little section of road here, so we're gonna put her through its paces and see how it feels. This is my first reactions with this car. I'm not gonna go ham on it because, you know, I respect it and I don't want anything to happen to it, but let's see what we got here. So a little bit, the steering feel gets heavier on the turn in there for sure. No torque on that second gear. I can get oversteer on a lot of cars there pretty easily. Can't do it in this. That's where I knew that gearing was gonna be a little bit of an issue. Soaks up the bumps on this uphill, no problem. Hard on the brakes, I'm gonna use second gear here where I'm usually third. Brakes feel good feedback through the pedal. So under these turns here, I can really feel the steering weighting up as it gains caster with the no powered rack. Steering efforts get much higher. Hearing that V6 transition in the VTEC, very nice. So this car, right off the bat, I can just feel how great the suspension is engineered. Now, I'll admit, I went a little bit cautious going into it because, again, haven't even floored the thing. That was the first time flooring this car, but it only took 2 turns for me to immediately realize, okay, I can get down with this car. I can just get in it and, for lack of a better word, fuck. So it's a very good car, and I definitely appreciate what Honda did here in the engineering. Like all Japanese cars, this is why I love Japanese cars, is because you can just get in them and they all have that familiarity, that ease of operation. It's just like, okay, this is what I'm working with, let's go. And you could just rock. And I think that's so cool. Engine feels really good. That's the first time I've ever felt VTEC on a V6. Super healthy up top. I love VTEC engines because they just have amazing top end, and it revs high. I think the rev limit's 8,200 on this. Anything that's kind of approaching the 8,000 plus RPM range really just creates that extra bit of theater, that extra bit of sweetness in the overall driving experience. So that felt like really good, and it was like it just feels crisp. And I don't have like a better word for it. It just feels nice and crisp on throttle. Really nice package. Definitely driving up my lust and my want for an NSX for sure. And now I'm just kind of back in the slew of things, and I'm just driving this car around. It's nice and calm. That's the beauty of VTEC, is because you have mild camshafts for a nice smooth idle, for your around the town low end drivability, and then once you transition over into the VTEC and you have the larger race lobes, it's like you have a race cam where you really want a race cam. So that overlap that you get from the additional duration for your intake and exhaust, it doesn't really matter because the engine's spinning so fast, there's no repercussions of that. You don't want that down low because that robs you of power. That means you got to have a brappy idle. So it's like it makes this like more of a race engine, but like in disguise. So it's really neat in that regard. It works really well. This is a cool car. I'm like totally loving this. I should not have been driving it, because now this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be obsessing over it, even more so than I already was. I think we're going to go whichever way this guy doesn't go, because he's just kind of taking his time. So let's see, we got our long first gear here. A little bit of oversteer, a little bit on the rev limiter there. Forgive me, I'm just trying to give you guys this review before it gets dark, so there is traffic. On the brakes, nice and smooth. Such a cool car. Hard on the brakes, slows down, back to normal speed, back to our residential, we're good. Fantastic car. Oh man, so cool. So cool. I don't really know what else to say about this. I'm not even sure if you guys can still see me because we're really losing our light here, but first time out in a Honda NSX. And I will say that even being, I knew it was going to be handicapped by the gearing, but even then, so it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, this is fun. I bet you the 6-speed with the 3.2 would be an almost near perfect car. Again, speed is relative now. I'm getting into that old man. I like my manual transmissions. You know, a car that's a 13-second car with a manual transmission is a good time. And I think a 3.2 NSX with the 6-speed would be almost like a perfect mid-engine car. You have that great balance of the mid-engine. You can feel it working. The car, you drive a mid-engine car just a little bit different than you do your front-engine stuff. And, you know, for a mid-engine platform, this chassis feels great for a car out of 1991. It's just, this is a really, really cool driving experience. So awesome.
All right, we'll do one pull if it's clear, and then double. Hey, thank you so much for letting me drive this car.
You are welcome.
This is like I said, on my list of top cars to drive.
I had a blast.
Huh?
I had a blast, dude. This was fun.
This was a great day.
The whole day was. You guys did an awesome job.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Check out the spotlight video we'll be doing this car soon, and we will see you next time. Peace.